guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, let me introduce myself. My name is Ike Smith. I am a professional lightweight strongman, certified strength and conditioning specialist, strongman coach, powerlifting coach, coach for any of those who want to just get strong, feel better, and put some numbers on the board and work towards something greater than they're accustomed to. So, as you can tell by the intro, today we are at the home gym, which I want to say this is probably the first session that I've recorded training at home, specifically strongman, or the log, I should say. But yeah, so it is November 12th, like 5 in the morning. Just currently wrapped up, I say just currently, but 2 weeks ago we wrapped up Squattober. I've been in my strongman off season now since July. That was the last competition I did. America's Strongest Man under 90 kilograms or 198 pounds. You can go back, reference that video. I'll link it somewhere here, like all the cool YouTubers do. I'll put that link somewhere in the video. But with that being said, my last competition was July. Kind of been figuring out what I want to do next and just kind of doing what I want to do. But with that being said, I haven't really had any guidance, any structure. Fast forward to October, did Sony Squattober, crushed it, hit a 475-pound back squat for a lifetime PR. Now we're in November, trying to fill this space, fill the gap between Squattober, December. Be my first time doing that as well. So obviously December is going to be the same as Squattober, presented by Sony, but the premise there is deadlifting, some kind of deadlift variation the whole month of December. But in the meantime, like I mentioned, me and my boy Eric McLean, we've been training together here and there. We've been doing mostly full body stuff. I'm usually an upper lower body kind of guy. He kind of convinced me to try some full body stuff out. And, we just been getting after it these 2 weeks in November. And today, since he goes and trains with his wife on Wednesday, I was like, what can I do on Wednesdays to prepare myself for tomorrow, Thursday? We're going to squat. So I was like, well, I'll keep up the full body routine. It doesn't get any more full body than strongman. Plus, being in the off season, it's just the best time to work on any kind of weaknesses. And if you know me, if you know most people in strongman, log is a lot of people's nemesis. So I'm going to take this time as an opportunity to just grease the groove. I normally do a power jerk for my main technique. My best log is 290. My best log push press is like 235. So I'm gonna take this time, work on some technical things, make sure I can dip, keeping my knees healthy, keeping everything as linear as possible. Just because I'm not competing right now doesn't mean that I can just step away from it all. I still have clients, still have athletes training log, training for competitions and things like that. So I wanna make sure I'm still in the fight with them and I can convey the best information as possible. So don't expect to see anything crazy today. Like I said, I really want to just focus on great technical prowess, making sure everything feels good, getting the legs warmed up, and keeping them fresh for squats tomorrow. And like I said, it doesn't get any more full body than log. You got to deadlift it. You got to lap it. You got to front squat it. You got to triple extend and clean it. You got to dip and you got to press it. So you name something that log doesn't hit and I'll call you a liar. So yeah, we're going to work up to something, some triples, and just kind of see how quick we can move things, go up, in small increments until things start slowing down. And from there, we'll probably wrap up with just some leg curls, some pull aparts, just like I said, things to keep my lower body feeling fresh, keeping the shoulders healthy, and just making sure that we can live to lift another day. So stay tuned, enjoy. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, and drop a comment below and let me know what else you want to see. Peace. It doesn't matter, even if log is not heavy, you still got to be locked in all the way because one little misgroove and it can just feel like you added 200 unnecessary pounds. So take this off. I don't know where you're watching from, but I'm in North Carolina and it's winter time. It's like 40 degrees. So I'm freezing, but such is life. The work still has to get done. So we got 140 pounds on here. Like I said, the biggest thing today is I want to make sure that while I'm not going heavy, the goal is to not fry my shoulders, fry my body today. I want everything to be as snappy as possible. A lot of times with the log, I just feel like there is a soft middle part. It's like you're baking, right? You see the top of your bread is golden brown. The bottom has a nice crust to it. You stick a toothpick in it and it's all doughy. Nobody wants that. It's the same thing with your log. You want to have everything nice and solid from ground up so that power can transfer sufficiently to your lockout. You don't want to have to do any work that's unnecessary as far as like you're not stable enough through the core, that power can't transfer, and now you're sitting here fighting for your life because something was off from the beginning. So that's my focus for today. I want everything to be snappy. We add 5-10 pounds a week eventually when we are prepping for something. Even though push press is not my main technique, like I said, I do a power jerk. Having a good solid core, good solid dip, transfer of power is always going to result in a greater, stronger, more efficient press. So let's see what we can do. I hate to be talking all this junk, get on here, and then this log humble me. I'll be all right. No sleeves, no belt, because like I said, it ain't that serious, but it is. Let's go. Not too bad. We warming up. We're gonna do that again. The only downside of training so early in the morning is I have to be very methodical and meticulous with how loud I am with things. Because obviously, like I said, wife is sleeping. Fortunately, garage is on this side of the house, bedroom's on this side of the house. So hopefully nobody gets woken up in the process. But, you know, whatever. The sun's coming up. So if it happens, it happens. Good Lord, I'm out of shape. I really should make the focus building up my upper chest by the clavicle or the collarbone because I'm too skinny for this thing and this log just keeps putting pressure on my collarbone. And it's like calloused up at this point. It just hurts. Or I could just toughen up. That was a lot better. You can definitely see each set getting better and better as I get more warmed up, but depending on what kind of time you have for your session or whatever the case may be, it just goes to show the importance of a thorough warm-up. So today I'm training. I have the ability to do enough to get moving, do first set, second set, third set, fourth and fifth, sixth set are gonna feel better. But when it comes to a competition and you have one set, essentially, you need to make sure that you're doing everything behind the scenes, whether you have a good protocol, whether it's just body weight, resistance bands, or hip circle, anything, any kind of like glute band, something like that, right? Warm-ups don't always have to be so specific to the implement, but you need to make sure that you are prioritizing the muscle groups and the movements that you're about to be using. Because obviously you're not gonna always have a log to warm up on, or if you're at one of these big competitions, like the Arnold or Nationals, you got 150 people fighting for the same piece of equipment. So you need to do your due diligence and make sure that you come in prepared with the proper bands, whatever you need to make sure that you can simulate the movements without always trying to rely on having that implement. So like, for example, today I wanted to make sure that the ankles and my quads were feeling good. Didn't really do much back extension. I knew I wasn't gonna go heavy on the cleans, but also I'm pressing with the neutral grip. So I wanted to hit the triceps, some face pulls, external rotation, because I need to have good external rotation to maintain a decent front rack. If I'm right here and those handles are fixed, I'm not going anywhere. So just keep in mind what muscles are gonna be used for the lift that you're about to perform. How can we prime the body for that without the exact specifications every time? And another thing, like I mentioned previously about just being snappy and being dynamic and very quick with everything, it doesn't mean go out of your way to be, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Just doing something so out of the ordinary that it throws your whole technique off. For that last, like for example, that last set I just did, it was very well executed and put together. But the biggest thing that I noticed myself was the dip, the drive, letting the power transfer through my body, get that log off my shoulders. But when the dip and drive phase ends, it's not where the press ends, all right? Or not where the lift ends, it is still where the pressing begins. So you want to make sure you have that good ground contact, good force production through the floor, but don't forget your arms. Whether you're push pressing or you're doing a jerk, obviously with strict press, it's a different story. It's a whole different lift in itself. But just because you feel that power coming through your body and that log pops off, doesn't mean take these out of the equation. When I tell people to push through that log, I literally mean you want to try to punch a hole through it. Obviously, it's not going anywhere. The handles are fixed and they're welded on. You're not that strong. However, if you can envision punching a hole through a wall, punching a hole through this log, or if you were to press this log through the ceiling as hard as you could and you just took off like a rocket and you're going through the ceiling attached to the log, that's what I want you to envision when executing a push press or even a jerk. The jerk, of course, you're going to have the second bend in the knees after that dip and drive phase. But for today, we're just talking push press, but the same cues apply. Push through the log, push the log through the ceiling, and you will have so much more power. It doesn't always come down to being stronger. Being stronger always helps. Yes, I'm not the biggest person. I'm not the strongest person, but I do know how to execute and use my body in the manner best suited to lift whatever weight I need to lift to achieve the place that I want to place. So if you don't believe me, you can check out my Instagram at Eichenstein. You can check out Smith Strength and Wellness. I coach a lot of pro men and women, well, pro strong men, pro strong women. So I know a thing or two about a thing or two. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop them below. And yeah, stay tuned. Let me know what else you want to see. Peace.